Hello, welcome to episode 23 of the ExtraCasual podcast with Ashton.
And Gavin.
And today we have some very funny topics. This first one, though, sadly isn't funny, but there is a couple funny ones later on. First topic is Elon Musk disables the option to report misinformation on X/Twitter. We have a review from Gavin of Bug Fables.
Mm-hmm.
We have Space Drugs Factory denied from re-entry to Earth.
This is one heck of a one.
I can't wait to see what it gets into from how it was denied and everything. And then we got, you can't get more metal than that. A metalhead is making a functioning guitar out of an actual sword.
It's pretty badass.
Yeah. So listen to the podcast if you want to get to all of it. And now we're going to get to my topic first, which is Elon Musk disables the option to report misinformation on Twitter.
I could think of a few political figures that might be happy that they can't be called out.
Yeah, I gotta make sure we're good. There's already stuff where people just misreport blatant information, and it's that having the option to get rid of that is just awful.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure at one point they said they're gonna get rid of the option to block people or something like that.
Didn't they do that?
And that's literally against the law of the terms of service of the Apple Store and the Google Play Store.
Uh-huh.
Because every app is required to have a blocking feature, and that's part of their code of conduct or whatever.
Yeah. Mostly just to, prevent harassment and stuff like that.
Yeah. And just to get rid of information you don't want to see. Potentially false information, but if Twitter is getting rid of the option to get rid of or to report misinformation and getting rid of the block feature, which now that I think of it, I don't think it's Twitter that's getting rid of the block feature, because there's no way they'd be able to get away with that. But I mean, they've gotten away with a lot of other things, so.
Well, it also says right here, Elon Musk disables option to report misinformation on X/Twitter.
Okay. Well, let's get into the article a little bit. X, formerly called Twitter, everyone's still going to call it Twitter.
Yep.
Disabled misinformation feature on the platform, effectively removing the option for users to react to users to report false election information. Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. Research organization Reset Tech Australia reported on Wednesday the company had recently been criticized for achieving the dubious honor as the number one platform to spread online hate and increased levels of misinformation.
And in response, they are making the option to only increase that.
Yep. Now, was this before they got rid of it or after they got rid of it that they reported?
I don't know. When was this article made?
3 days ago.
3 days, yep.
Okay. Yeah, so what was that, the day before then or something like that?
Well, just say disables as in current action, not disabled, or is disabling.
Okay.
I don't know. English is hard. So you know how when Elon took over, he said that he wants to make Twitter the free speech platform it should be? I wonder if
he said a lot of things. I don't know exactly what you're talking about by that, but I know he probably said it, so yeah.
I wonder if this is kind of a response to that people have said, if by reporting the information I put out, it's violating my free speech. Or maybe some idiot over at XHQ said, hey, this is a great idea, trust us.
Trust me, bro. What was I going to say? I'm pretty sure it's not against your free speech to, falsely say things that aren't, true.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Because isn't that a form, what's it called?
Freedom of expression?
No, the term slander.
Yeah, slander.
That would be slander because you're lying about information that isn't true.
Well, not really slander, because slander has to be about a person. It's more like misleading information, which isn't really like unless it's like about a product or something, isn't really a punishable offense.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, but remember, just because someone has the freedom of like speech and expression and whatnot, does not mean they're free from consequences of what they say.
Exactly. Lots of people don't even take that into account until after they commit or do whatever hate speech that they say.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want to say. You're gonna have actions for your consequences. They forget that about that. So.
Uh-huh. Yep. Then there will be consequences. Always, usually, and people are always super surprised when those consequences rear their head.
Yep.
Sometimes it's beautiful. In fact, most of the time it's beautiful because they fully deserve it.
You get what you freaking deserve.
The
Joker quote. Okay. In 2022, X introduced the option for users to report misleading information on the app. However, that option has now disappeared. When choosing to report or post a page, the drop below menu gives you the option to report spam, suicide, or self-harm, deceptive identity, sensitive material, and violence and hate speech, among the others. It would be helpful to understand why X have seamlessly... Jesus Christ. X has seemingly gone backwards on their commitments to migrate the kind of serious misinformation that has translated into real political instability in the U.S., especially on the eve of the bumper year of elections globally. Alice Dawkins, executive director of Reset, told writers. I'm just going to say writers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is probably the worst time for them to even do this because elections coming up, like, who could be the next president of the U.S.? It's... Can't really think about it. It's just like, I don't understand why they'd think that this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Unless he's just trying to silently bomb Twitter/X without, like, actively saying it.
I mean, he did say that, like, a while ago, that if he ever owned Twitter, he would burn it to the ground, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he might just be being a man of his word.
At the end, he's going to be like, it's all a prank, guys. Here's the original Twitter with none of the modifications to it.
Wouldn't that be swell?
That would be kind of funny.
Dude, he would get so much backlash for that. Like, it would be insane.
It was just like a multi-year long prank.
Be one hell of a prank.
Okay. Reset reported that X removed the politics category last week from early jurisdiction, except from the European Union, where the Digital Services Act prevents social media from displaying misinformation on their platforms.
America needs something like that.
Yeah. Reset expressed that it's concerned that the company removed the option to report electoral information only weeks before the country votes on a major referendum to add an Indigenous voice to Australia's parliament. In an open letter to Angus Keane, Managing Director of Australia and New Zealand and former ex-sales director. Okay. So this is, not to be like self-centered here, but I didn't realize that it was affecting more than just the U.S.
Well, Twitter is a company based in the U.S., but it does still stem worldwide, so...
We need to really get a Digital Services Act over here.
Yeah, of some sort.
Just have it be misinformation. Don't add any of your little gimmicks to it, whoever would do it, but...
And there's always going to be bureaucratic red tape bullshit that they're going to try to throw in. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to try to get something that they want.
Yeah. I'll read a couple more. In the letter, Reset told Keane that X's new policy removing the option to report misinformation violates Digi's Australia Code of Practice on Disinformation and Misinformation, which requires social media platforms to allow users to report content and behaviors of word that I don't know that violate their policies through publicly available and accessible reporting tools.
I think that word is signatories.
Yeah, do you know what we forgot to do at the start, Gavin?
What?
Silence.
It'll be fine.
And now there's a lawnmower in the background. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. On air, fixing the problems that we didn't do earlier.
Welcome to the Gavin Show. Right now, I talk about random stuff while Ashton fixes some sort of problem.
The filler.
Yep. So, my weekend has been pretty good. Haven't really been doing much.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been over here. Me and Ashton went to a game store. And look at that, he's back. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled, extra casual stuff.
After this quick moment of silence. Okay, the silence is over. What were we talking about?
About how the Twitter changes affect more than just the United States.
Oh yeah, my self-centeredness.
I'd say it's more naivete than self indulgence or whatever.
Oh yeah, I was gonna read a couple more. God, the world is busy. In 2021, X, then Twitter, announced that it was adding the option to report misinformation. Reading a tweet, some people in the US, South Korea, and Australia find the option to flag tweets as misleading after clicking on report tweet.
Well, I guess I'm just kind of trying to think that people are just going to start wars of people actually finding legit information from trusted sources, and the people that just don't straight up believe in it.
They're just going to say it's false.
Yep. Cough cough, flat earthers, cough cough, anti-vaxxers, cough cough.
Any other weird belief, I guess.
Yeah.
You can have those beliefs, just they're kind of weird.
Yeah, and they don't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to read one more paragraph. Since Musk took over X in October of last year. Oh, wow, it's almost been about a year.
In a couple of days, it'll be October.
It's been accused of allowing misinformation to flourish, with European Commission Vice President Vera Jourova, sorry I mispronounced that, definitely, saying in prepared remarks on Tuesday that disinformation actors were found to have significantly more followers and tend to have joined the platform more recently than non-disinformation users.
That actually kind of explains a lot. Think of it. Why not just even if you just want to troll, go onto a platform, find all the weird conspiracy theories, make some of your own, or just say some just outlandish stuff. Just do it.
And, wasn't there a thing with parody too? They now allow parody accounts as long as you state it in the
little bar or whatever.
They have to say parody somewhere on their account, because people are literally mimicking YouTube creators. Back when they allowed Twitter Blue, you had to pay for it and stuff like that. People are making direct 1-to-1 YouTubers profiles, besides maybe the R looks a little bit different in their username or something like that, and then posting really
offensive stuff,
messed up stuff, and people were taking it as the actual creators.
Yeah, I mean the same thing happened for that one arms company that deals with the United States. They said they were gonna be they said they're gonna stop selling to, I think, Saudi Arabia or some other place, and their stock just tanked.
Really? Somebody did that?
Yes.
They can definitely get in legal trouble for that.
I think they did. Oh, I don't really know, because anonymity. Yeah. Also, it's kind of funny to think that weapons companies have stocks.
They're mags.
They're not clips, they're mags.
They're not stocks, they're not clips, they're mags. Okay. Other than that, Twitter making more dumb decisions, yada yada yada. Gavin's turn.
Yep, okay, and now for my review of Bug Fables. This will be very different from, obviously, my Ace Attorney review, mostly because this game is a little bit more recent in the fact that this game isn't 20 years old. Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I went into more detail with the Ace Attorney trilogy, I guess if people were wondering for whatever reason. Anyway, so... Yeah, this is going to be my review on Bug Fables The Everlasting Sapling. So, I did a quick little Google search earlier, and apparently the game takes 25 and a half hours to complete. Like, not 100% just complete. It took me 37 hours, roughly.
And that's just like the average completion among people?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of it was just kind of me running around.
Exploring.
Yeah.
Exploring.
Yeah, exploring.
Doing air quotes.
Well, it also doesn't really help that, I think I can go one place, but, I can't really, and I just kind of get turned around.
Yeah, and then you end up, like, going all the way to the beginning of the game by accident or something like that.
Yeah, that, and I also, purposely ran into, like, every fight I could just to get to as high as a level as I could. I did make it to max level before I fought the final boss, which is pretty interesting.
First, have you mentioned what kind of genre this game is?
Oh yeah, it is a turn-based RPG that's very heavily based off of the Paper Mario series, like the original Paper Mario games, first two to be specific.
Not the new bad ones.
Yeah, I actually have a bit of a hot take. A while back, like when I was yeah, probably like 5 or so years back, I actually played Sticker Star. And the thing is, I didn't hate it because it is my first experience with something like with a Paper Mario game. And
was that on the 3DS?
Yeah, it was on 3DS. The one that changed it super super drastically. And there's someone's actually making a video essay series of why they think Sticker Star is a bad game. And I've been watching it, and I have to agree with literally every single point. Some of the points were he said that you can't really play how you want because there are special like thing stickers that you have to use like for bosses.
Oh, so you have to like get key items to be able to do stuff.
Yes, there are secret exits that are required.
Sounds dumb.
In World 3, you have to backtrack through like each level at least once.
Wow.
And he did like basically the math for how many times you'd have to go through to get like a new exit. And World 3 alone has typically like 20 something levels in like a world with like already like 9 base, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. He said that fighting is actually pointless because you don't get stickers from enemies.
Do you even level up, or is it just?
Nope, it's just cash.
Wow.
Yeah, you get health upgrades in the wild.
That sounds interestingly horrible.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really think it was that bad, but now that I see like the points that he's making, it's like, yeah, this game was not good.
I was just a stupid child back then.
Well, it's also because my standards for gaming was a lot different.
Yeah.
Like I said,
you're less prone to slop now.
Yeah, that, and like I said, it was also my first experience with like an RPG style Paper Mario because I played Super Paper Mario on the Wii, and I almost made it. I almost beat the game, but I just couldn't pull off that last little bit, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Now back to the review.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I guess for the overall gameplay, like I said, it's very Paper Mario-esque. You move around the field. It's 3D. You can swap between the 3 main characters: a little beetle guy named Kabu, a bee named Vi, although I think I've been saying it as V for most of it, and a moth who goes by the name of Leaf. They all have their own unique abilities, which is cool. Although, I would like to say right off the bat, one of the bigger gripes I have with the game is that since it's 2D models on a 3D plane, like Paper Mario, it's kind of hard to position yourself at a very certain point.
I saw you having a hard time with platforming at some points with that.
Yeah.
You know, because like you just said, it's really hard to terrain in a 3D area with
2D models.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the game looks good overall. I will say that. And the art style is very old school Paper Mario esque, which I can appreciate. Let's see. Battle. You know, it's there's the action commands that you would probably expect from a Paper Mario game, which is really cool. Like, be it holding down like a trigger for like a little bit, or like a stick, or having to press a button on a very specific point.
So like, didn't they have like the original Paper Mario's had that too?
Yeah, the first two.
Like quick times in the middle of fighting to
Yeah.
do certain moves or
Yeah.
like get extra damage.
Yeah, they're called action commands.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing I will say about the battle system though, I just wish you could even just once naturally upgrade each character's damage by one scale or one point without having to use like a badge or medal as they're called in this game, or an item which you can get, but you only get one of them.
So like, I'm trying to find a reference to it. So like, Castle Crashers?
Yeah, of course.
How you have like the at the end of the levels you have those like bar things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how the levels work with this game? Kind of.
Not exactly. So you have to collect explorer points from beating enemies, and depending on where you are in the game and how high level you are, will directly scale with how much you might get from enemies.
Okay.
So like if you're over leveled from an area, you might get like 1 or 0.
So they'll just like they basically just try to balance you out through the whole entire game.
And just like in Paper Mario, you can, once you get 100, or in this game it scales up progressively. Yeah, once you get X amount of explorer points, you get fully healed, which is cool, and then you get to choose between picking health, TP, which is basically how you use your special moves, and MP, or medal points, which is what allows you to equip medals.
So you can have multiple like later on in the game.
Yeah, like each medal has like MP, like an MP requirement, and you need a lot of MP for like specific stuff. Like the build I was running, which wasn't really a build so to speak, it was just put like some HP medal, like 2 HP medals on everyone, some other attacks and stuff. And I eventually hit max level, like I said before I fought the final boss. Anyway,
if you could rate the game without really like spoiling it that much, what would you rate it out of 10?
I think I'm gonna give it a 9, like a very solid 9.
What was like your stood out to you as like one of the best things about it?
I really like the world. Like, even though I did say that I get turned around a little bit, especially in that one desert area.
Just threw a bottle away because it kept dropping.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Even in the desert area, which you got turned around in quite a lot.
Even that was good.
Yeah, I really liked it because, the atmosphere was really good. The enemies were pretty creative for the area. Like, there was bandits and whatnot, but also like sandworms and stuff like that. There's a part in the game. Actually, that's kind of goes into spoiler territory, so I'm not gonna go.
Could you like try to talk about it without really spoiling it that much, or would it give it away?
Submarine. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. There you go. Bug Fable Submarine, guys.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess for like the base overview of the plot, and I guess I will go into chapter 1 a little bit, is that the 3 heroes, Leaf, Kabu, and Vi, they are hired by the Ant Queen to go find clues to find this like basically artifact called the Everlasting Sapling, hence the subtitle of the game. They just go around the world finding clues, trying to like build some sort of alliance with like the other like kingdoms and whatnot. running into decent amounts of trouble. And yeah, and I guess speaking of the Ant Queen, without revealing too much, but I thought she was gonna be a twist villain. That's all I'm gonna say.
Gave you the red herring.
Uh-huh.
I guess I have another question I have, since the way you pulled it up, instead of just typing in bug fables, you type bug fables 2 for like the topic.
Well, that's what
Is there like, does the game end conclusively, or is it kind of tease another one?
it's a conclusive ending.
Okay.
You know, the Buglands is safe from like the evil, and just life goes on.
Nice.
They'd have to do something pretty interesting. Like maybe it doesn't have to be like another artifact, like some like super artifact. It could be like some massive treasure hoard that maybe they just want to get their hands on.
Like an adventure or something like that?
They don't have to be heroes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Chapter 1. So basically, Kabu and Vi start a exploration team basically, because they want to help the Queen Ant find the everlasting sapling by finding clues. Then they go into a cave called Snake Mouth Cave, which is said to be very dangerous. So naturally, the newbies pass on the first try. Yeah, that's where they meet Leaf, who is said to be a lot older, but he looks like he looks like decently young, and there's a reason for that and like a side quest. Yeah, so they go through the cave, they encounter every bug's true nemesis in the world, a spider.
Oh god.
So they
is that the tutorial boss, the spider?
That's the first boss. The tutorial boss is like kind of Kabu's mentor. Just shows you like
it's like sparring and stuff like that.
Yeah, sparring.
Okay.
Action commands. Proper blocking. Oh yeah, I guess when it comes to blocking, you can do a super block. And every time I've super blocked, I'd always say Royal Guard. Why? Because why not?
Because he loves Devil May Cry.
Royal Guard.
It's cool.
Jackpot. Let's see.
I'm trying to think of more questions for you.
Okay. Well, I guess in the meantime, I'll just continue. So yeah, they go through fighting like kind of living mushroom thingies, and then they find a mask, and then once they go grab it, they are ambushed by El Spider, and then they kill it. Spider is big dead. Okay. That's. I just kind of gave down the overall plot and chapter 1. Now, I guess to get into like the main characters, I guess I want to talk about Leaf first, because he's definitely the most interesting, because he talks kind of in like the third person, but not exactly in the third person. He says, "I think this one would like it." He doesn't say I.
What? So like he refers, I think this one would like it.
Yeah. Or like
I understand what you're saying, but it's so weird. Like, I never thought of that.
Yeah. Like he doesn't really use like proper first person nouns. He uses we agree or something like that. And like I said, it's stated later in the game through a side quest of why he's like this. And furthermore, he's actually the only character that can utilize magic throughout the game. And the reason is also in that side quest.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's all things considered. It's pretty like I think it's like mid game, so I'm not gonna really talk about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vi, she is a sassy, spunky little bee who just kind of wants to get out there. Apparently, she has connections to some shady characters too, because someone that you can like trade like special currency like in Paper Mario it was star pieces. In this game it's crystal berries too for like rare badges and whatnot / medals. Yeah, he's been shown to be like a grifter character, and apparently she bought her weapon off of him, and apparently it was stolen. So yeah, there's that.
I got a question that we probably should have said at the start.
What
Price?
price? I think I got for like $20.
Okay, so it's. Did you buy it on sale or?
I don't think it bought it on sale.
Okay, so do we know if it's on anything other than Steam?
It's on Steam. I think you can get it on PlayStation and Xbox.
Looks like it's on Switch too.
Yeah, and it is also on the Switch.
So like all recent consoles.
Yeah, basically. Let's see. Yeah, and Vi's main motivation to start the game is that she wants to prove that she's not just a bee. Like the bees have a pretty rigid culture. She wants to prove that she can just be more than just some worker.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then there's Kabu, which I like for what it's worth, but he does also play into my least favorite like stereotype of a character, like the like always cheerful,
Lucky go happy or whatever it is.
Happy go lucky kind of.
Blissfully ignorant.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, like, he is very nice, and that's basically his main character definer. He tries very hard. He does stuff for the sake of his friends. He oftentimes will try to refuse a reward for his work. Which Vi kind of cuts him off and takes it anyway.
Damn.
But yeah, like it's shown like halfway like through the like maybe not even halfway, like 60% through the game. He's from basically outside of where outside the land the game takes place, and that he had to like walk like to basically just to find civilization again.
Yeah, I guess you should try to refrain from giving too much details about it. So then people actually are like,
yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's really all you really gotta say about him anyway. He's just kind of like the token, happy-go-lucky character.
So, I'm still trying to think of questions. It's kind of hard because I don't really know much about this. I didn't really watch him play it. But he does have all of it recorded for me to use for the podcast.
Yep.
Let's see. So all the main three characters are introduced right away, right?
Yeah, basically.
Basically right away.
Yeah, Leaf is like, I'd say he's introduced like an hour in.
Okay.
Like, hell, not even an hour in. Like maybe like 15 minutes, depending on how fast you can go.
This isn't really a question. It's something I can relate to with this kind of. About like, not Mario clones, but like Mario inspired games. Like this one is more like Paper Mario. Well, it definitely is like Paper Mario inspired. Another game that I played another game that I played that's kind of like Mario themed, it's more themed off of like 64 and stuff like that, is A Hat in Time. That also is like a really good game. It's surprisingly linear. Like the story is like, you don't have to interact with the story really. Like you just jump into a level and then you just do whatever you want and then you accidentally unlock something. Which I guess is kind of more like how 64 was in a way.
Yeah, definitely.
But like you don't actually have to do the objective that you jump into the world that it tells you to do. Like you can just like explore and like unlock new like badges and stuff like that. Funny enough, this game has badges too. Well, there are pins in this game, but
like, do they give any like special effects, or are they just like, hey, you did this objective, congratulations?
It's like there'll be like the running pin, like you have unlimited run stamina, or like the double jump pin, or like the
nice little enhancements.
Yeah, they're like just improvements to the character.
Let's see. I think that's all I really gotta talk about. Like I guess one of my other gripes would be aside from like the
Yeah, we got to get some negatives in here now.
yeah yeah aside from like the combat progression not feeling like it's enough. Um, it feels like you have to really rely on medals to really like beef yourself up, which it was like this in Paper Mario too, but less to an extent because your main attacks get leveled or get stronger throughout the game with like the boot and hammer upgrades in Paper Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the like attacks, it feels like they just use up way too much team points. Like even though like sometimes they don't even have like a good effect or they just don't do a whole lot of
Can you
damage.
describe team points?
It's like your MP or your BP or SP
Oh,
or
okay.
whatever.
So it's just like a gauge that is used for certain attacks.
Yeah, special attacks.
Okay.
Um, there's also not actually no, that's a lie. There's a good bit of a variety. Um, the limited bag storage, it's like this in Paper Mario also, but um, yeah, it can get really annoying like dealing with 10 items for like the first half of the game. You get a maximum of 15, but that's not exactly much better. Um, I guess there's also this one time, but this is mostly due to my own stupidity. I died and I lost 2 hours worth of progress because I
Oh,
didn't save throughout the entire time.
that's that's one thing I hate with playing RPGs sometimes is you're having so much fun and then you forget to save, or you're like me where you oversave. Like I'll save every like 10 minutes.
Hmm.
And when I save, I don't just save once. I'll like resave it like 5 times before I'm like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah. This also might be part of my stingy nature when it comes to RPGs, but I never really feel like I have an incentive to use items because I want to conserve my TP, and because off like especially in the early game, money is really hard to come by. Uh,
I kind of I'm kind of like that too.
yeah,
Like Dark Souls, I'll like barely use any of the extra items or like the removes poison items and stuff like that. I'll just hold on to it.
yeah. Because even if you have like 20 of them, you never know when you're gonna need that extra one.
Or I just am stubborn and never use them.
Yeah, that's kind of my philosophy whenever I run through dead cells with my healing potions. Like never know when I could need an extra one, and I just
Just
because
being cautious.
yeah, and because I usually run a heal via kill or like strat or heal via hit while dashing, I guess strat. Apparently those strategies aren't very good, but yeah.
They work for you, I guess.
Yeah, they work for me. Just I don't think they're gonna work for much longer. I mean, you need to find a new strategy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's not. This isn't about Dead Cells. This is about Bug Fables. Um, let's see. Uh, I actually
Yes.
kind of wish that um maybe there's like a few other button prompts like for certain things like for example I actually that's kind of late in the game, but sometimes you have to like double tap something instead of
Just like selecting it.
well, you have to like double tap a button for an action. Meanwhile, you could have easily done it for like a separate button.
Oh. So
Yeah.
there's like only one action button.
Well, yeah. Like the action button is B, like on the Xbox controller, I should say.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because it feels like there's one that you could have just easily like pressed like used A for instead of like using the action button, like just hold down A instead of just tapping it. Um, let's see. The side quests, this is kind of like a more of a me thing because I'm always kind of iffy on side quests. Like, I'll do them, but like if I feel like if I'm having a really hard time getting around, or if it just takes me too long to find an objective, then I'll stop liking it.
Then you just give up on them.
No, I won't give up. I'll just look up a guide.
Mm.
Well, yeah. Some of the like the answers to like things are a little obtuse. Like, there's an area later in the game where I have to use my like like my Explorer team like certification badge to open a door. I didn't know I had to use that.
Was it like one of those things where, like in Pokemon, where like you encounter the bush that you have to cut, but you don't have cut yet, so you have to like go back to it later?
No, because usually you always have the things you need on hand, unless it specifically said, "Hey, we're gonna need this, so we need to come back later." And you usually get in the same area anyway.
Okay.
Um, in terms of difficulty, I would say it's a fair difficulty. Like, honestly, you could just like if you want to have a harder game, you could probably play with like badges that don't really help you. They just kind of like have like a niche effect, like some like the poison badges, like where, you get an effect while poisoned.
So like, is there a difficulty option?
Yes, there is a medal you get uh like basically immediately, where you can go into where if you put it on, you enter hard mode.
Oh, okay, so it kind of goes the way of like how Final Fantasy 16 is, where like there isn't. I'm pretty sure there is a difficulty option too, but it's like you get to choose your difficulty just by like equipping and unequipping stuff.
Yeah. And also the rewards for hard mode are rare medals, but you can get them that you can get them for free after beating a boss. But the other thing is that you aren't penalized for not doing it because you can buy them from the traveling merchant, uh, well, traveling trader, I should say.
Okay.
Let's
Any
see.
other quick things you want to mention about it?
Um, I'm thinking, and not really, not that I can think of. Let's see. Uh, yeah, actually, I think that's it. Like, that's the good and the bad. Not the ugly though, because
There is no ugly. It's all beautiful.
yeah. Yeah, but anyway, that's my review on Bug Fables. Give it a nice solid 9 out of 10. If they do,
Would play again.
I'd probably play again. Although I am happy that I ended it off where it did, because I was playing it nonstop for a while, and I was kind of giving myself burnout. So,
It ended like right at the perfect time, basically.
mm-hmm.
That's good.
And yeah, like I said, that's it. So let's move on to the next topic.
Yep. We got Space Drugs Factory denied from re-entry to Earth.
I have one big question. What does space drugs mean? Like, are they just drugs like ibuprofen stuff that are manufactured in space? Or are they like some super weird goopy stuff that I don't know.
Moon rocks. They bring you to the moon. I don't know. This is up to like just reading this title is up to like the reader's imagination here.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, until they start reading it, that is.
Space Drugs Factory denied from re-entry to Earth. So, my first question is, are we developing stuff like pharmaceuticals in space?
I mean, it sounds like it.
But what would be the point of that?
I don't know. Anti-grav makes them work better.
Like, it's super confusing because then if like the shuttle or whatever was trying to land back down to Earth and then it crashes, then you lose like 50 million plus dollars worth of like medicine.
I don't know, man.
Like,
Stuff doesn't make sense. We just kind of have to read through and
okay, well, I can't think of the reason that this is even happening, so we're just gonna read the article that tells us. So, the Air Force and the FFA denied permission for Varda Space's capsule to return and land on Earth. I have another question. So what happens if they deny them from landing on Earth? Where are they supposed to go then?
I don't know.
Do they just shoot themselves towards the sun?
They have to chill before.
And another question is, if there's humans on this thing, I'm assuming that there isn't humans on this thing. Imagine like space, like the space patrol just says, "Nah, you can't land. You're gonna be stuck in space for another 6 months."
Dude, imagine that. Imagine within like the next 30 years, like we have like cities floating around in space, and we have space cops.
Oh God!
Tonight on Space Cops, this guy was
pull over now, or else we're gonna puncture your craft, and you're gonna get sucked right into space. What happens? Oh God! This just led to like a big question. This is so off topic. What happens if you introduce enough oxygen to space?
I think that'd be impossible because it's a infinite like vacuum out there.
I guess because the oxygen would eventually expand to the point where it's as thin as it's thinner than paper.
Yeah, well, thinner. Well, obviously it's gonna be thinner than paper because
it has to travel everywhere.
Yeah, but in a I think in a theoretical sense, it could probably. I think it could probably cause a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, it would cause a lot of damage because if enough oxygen was in space, then all the gas planets would ignite off the oxygen.
Oh yeah, not to mention
you would have a whole entire universal explosion.
Yeah, we'd have like another Big Bang, but I think it'd probably only be like Milky Way wide. So, a mini Big Bang, a mini bang, bang bang.
After marketing crystals of an HIV drug After manufacturing crystals of an HIV drug in space, the first orbital factory is stuck in orbit after being denied re-entry back to Earth due to safety concerns.
What kind of safety concerns?
So they have orbital factories now.
Well, this is the first one, apparently.
I'm assuming there's no workers on it. It's just like robots and stuff.
Yeah, automated. There might be humans because they repair the robots.
I don't know. I'm still confused on why we're going to space to do this. Is this like Gucci drugs? Like this is like the rich end, high end stuff for the rich people?
I mean, it's HIV stuff. You know, the thing that is very, very hard to get rid of / cure. So
I guess they're trying to do it in space so it's safer?
I don't know.
Like maybe like there's a contaminant in there that might accidentally travel, so their best option was to put it in space.
Maybe it could be.
That actually makes a little bit of sense now.
That might make sense.
Okay, now this actually kind of makes sense.
Well, like they said, this is just a what if, or a potentiality.
Well, now I'm actually thinking of like options that might make sense on why they're not allowed to go back to Earth. The U.S. Air Force denied a request from the Varda Space Industries to land its in-space manufacturing capsule at a Utah training area, while the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) did not grant the company's permission to re-enter Earth's atmosphere, leaving its spacecraft hanging as the company scrambles to find a solution. TechCrunch first reported a spokesperson from the FAA told TechCrunch in an email statement that the company's request was not granted at this time due to the overall safety, risk, and impact analysis.
Okay.
So what are they going to do? Are they going to smuggle the capsule back on Earth?
Good luck, man. If they would, they'd have to do it somewhere that's not in like U.S. airspace or whatever. Because if they did, they could probably get in a lot of trouble.
Just watch like they land on the moon, and then they gotta have an operation to smuggle it from the moon back to Earth.
Yeah, they have to. First, they're gonna have to find the American flag. Show all those conspiracy theorists wrong.
They're gonna recreate the hive, but on the moon, like Halo.
Oh no!
Something just happens and stuff starts mutating in space, and like the hive is now real.
Isn't it the flood?
The flood, yep, the hive flood. It's a hive mind by the flood.
Now we go to Mars, correct that, and it turns out there's a portal to hell. Doom starts.
Oh god. Now that's a safety concern.
Yeah, I think a portal to hell would be a little, unusual.
Gizmodo reached out to Varda Space to ask which regulatory requirements have not been met. The company has not the company responded in a 2-word email that ominously read no comment.
Well, gee, this makes things a lot more clear.
The California startup did not provide an update on its spacecraft, though, through X, formerly Twitter. I love that they always have to put formerly Twitter now. We're pleased to report that our spacecraft is healthy across all systems and was originally designed for a full year on orbit if needed. Varda Space wrote on X, we look forward to continuing to collaborate with our government partners and to bring our capsule back to Earth as soon as possible.
According to...
Okay, I'm going to read one more paragraph. Wait, what is this? Okay, never mind. I'm skipping the paragraph about the lore, and I'm just going to read this direct quote from Deline Asparov, Varda's co-founder. He said, and I quote, "Space drugs have finished cooking, baby."
Yo, Breaking Bad in space? Actually, that sounds actually kind of dope.
Jesse, we need to go to Mars.
We gotta cook Jesse on Mars. Hey, yo, Mr. White, why Mars? Because Jesse, we got to.
We got to. He wrote that on X. Unfortunately, the space drugs are not allowed to come back to Earth. Baby. Varda's capsule was originally scheduled for re-entry on September 5th or 7th, but the company's application was denied on September 6th, according to the TechCrunch. Varda family requested that the FAA reconsider its decision on September 8th, and that request is still pending.
Wow, this one was an older one because we're already at the time of recording. We're 22 days ahead of when.
I wonder.
Supposed to happen. Oh wait a minute! This was published September 18th.
I wonder if the capsule is back yet.
It could be.
I'm just gonna look that up real quick.
Let's see.
Find some filler talk, Evan. Let me look it up. Varda. Is it Varda Space? Is that what?
Varda Space Industries. Excuse me. Let's see. HIV drug. Yeah, they probably find a way to jack that price up from, I guess, what we were talking about earlier. It's made in America, based in California.
Industries can be used to frequently target markets like fiber optic cables, pharmaceuticals, and semiconductors. It's a startup? This is an interesting startup. I'm surprised it wasn't called like Mr. White Incorporated or something like that.
That'd be hilarious.
That was a joke. This is all a joke. We should probably avoid getting flamed by potential startups that might be angry.
That'll be fine.
Well, you can speculate on that one while we talk about this one.
You can't get more metal than that. A metalhead is making a functioning guitar out of an actual sword. Now, right before we get into this, what other medieval weapons do you think you can make instruments out of?
Definitely like a slingshot, ballista type thing.
Huh.
Don't mind me. Just opening things again.
Yeah. Let's see. I was thinking shields. Like you can use like different kinds of shields for like drums and stuff.
Yeah, you definitely could. Chainmail. You could probably do some like metallic instruments or whatever they're called with chainmail.
Yeah.
Brass instruments.
Could use a bow and arrow as a violin if you tried hard enough and bolt it correctly.
True.
A spear. I don't know. The only thing you really make like from most medieval weapons is just guitars. Like an axe, like a battle axe. Just you have to make a guitar out of that.
I've definitely seen like battle axe guitars and like stop sign guitars, where it's just like the base of the instrument.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of it's just gonna be guitars or like bass or basses are like just instruments with like strings.
Okay, let's get into the article.
A
You gotta go up a little bit.
Yeah, YouTuber Become the Night is turning ancient weaponry into one of the most metal musical instruments we have ever seen. Yep, and it shows a little picture.
What is that? I'm assuming that's like the guard of the.
This is the hilt, like the hilt guard, and then this is like the blade. I hope it's dull so he doesn't actually accidentally cut himself during a show.
I'm pretty sure he had to dull it for like safety reasons and like so he didn't slice his like finger off.
Yeah, progressive male musician turning a sword into a functioning guitar. YouTuber Michael Capri, known by screen name Become the Night, posted his creation on Thursday, to the 21st of September.
21st night of September.
Yeah, I was just to say that. Escaping the secret from years, LOL, the Tennessee-based guitarist wrote on the YouTube community post.
For years, wow.
I mean, let's just think for a second, because if he made that sword from scratch, because I highly doubt this is an actual medieval weapon.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to hire like a blacksmith to make it look like a sword, and then like also be functional as a guitar.
Yeah. I remember someone made the Rebellion. I saw a video of someone making the Rebellion from Devil May Cry, and they actually had to put a lot into it. Like they had to like make a model for like the skull on the hilt, and like the like bones and like ribs that are like on the more top of the blade.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. Let's see. This has never been done before, making a functional guitar out of a sword, and I doubt anyone will beat me to it. Extremely difficult, massive challenge for any tech without slapping a fretboard on it, which would be lame. Yeah, probably. Like, just imagine, like, just duct taping, like, a spear to, like a guitar board or whatever. Yeah. Let's see. What other like weird objects do you think you can make instruments out of?
I'd want to see something where like you turn like a piano into like a guitar. Like you just like mix like the instruments, but then you just make them like exact opposites or like just different instruments out of another instrument.
Like a guitar that plays like a piano and a piano that plays like a guitar.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine you're gonna play like Mozart and then it's just like
but it's like tuned like exactly like how the instrument would be tuned. So like whenever you press like C on a piano, it'll do like a C on the guitar.
Yeah.
Or like the piano guitar.
You start playing like some AC/DC on a piano and it sounds really convincing.
I wonder if that exists now.
It might.
I bet you in some forms it exists.
It'd have to be heavily modded though. That's all I really know.
Yeah.
Right when we got out of lockdown, I started visiting my local guitar store.
He got bored in lockdown.
World Music Nashville. Well, everyone got bored during lockdown, which is now permanently closed. Oh, that's unfortunate. Chris Roberts of Vibratone Guitars was working with me on this Absolute Beast, and we had to pause it for several years. Seems that though we may be at a point where we can pick this project back up again, we will keep posting you when it's finished. God bless. Yay.
Another user adds, "You can't get more metal than that."
Yep. Fans are greatly impressed by the photos of creation. It's one of the coolest things ever seen. From you. Stick with it, Mike. Reads the top comment.
Wait a minute. I'm kind of reading further into this. What does Cardi B have to do with the guitar? This YouTuber is best known for his reaction videos where he critiques rock and metal related content such as large scale content creators as the Fine Brothers, as well as commentating on the work of pop musicians from Cardi B to Post Malone.
I assume he doesn't try to trademark his stuff like the Fine Brothers tried to do and became a laughing stock for it.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
It's just lots of comments about it.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's just more stuff about.
Hold on, go back down to the image. That image gives a lot more detail on how this thing is.
Yeah.
So, where is the actual like? Is there a body to this thing? Because that's the top of the guitar, right? Go to the next picture.
This is the top. Let's see.
I don't even
This
think
is the
there's
full thing.
that's so this is the top of the guitar, like where you wire the strings and stuff. Okay, this is weird. So the way that the guitar is the handle where you'd hold the sword, not the guitar, is the top of the guitar, and then the strings are like strung, like the tuning pegs and everything are on the hilt part, and then it just goes straight down the sword, but it doesn't look like there's a body for it.
Yeah, which I mean, it must be pretty awkward to hold.
Okay. Yeah, it has to be because there's no body. Next image. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't even look like it shows really the body of the sword, if there even is one.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, that looks a little sharp.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, it is a sword after all.
So it looks like he combined like a sword and like he welded like a piece of metal behind it too to like give it more support.
That might just be like the point where it's holding. Then again, it might be. I don't know. I can't really tell. So they drilled a couple holes at the bottom. Looks like a 4-string.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if this thing is able to connect to an amp.
It probably could be. Just may have to add like a couple of electronics.
Because it's all metal, so I don't know how that's really gonna work out.
Dude, imagine a sword fight breaks out and this guy's just wielding his guitar sword.
Yeah, to keep in theme of like the sword fight, he just pulls out the sword guitar to.
This is literally a bard weapon from D&D.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. The only other weapon I've seen, a music instrument that's also a weapon I've seen is Nevin from DMC3.
Well, I guess we can read a couple more.
The literal electric guitar.
Couple more. Let's read those three.
Okay, let's see. I met artist Vincent Castiglia or Castiglia. I don't know. And we were just about to start looking at his art, which was just the most phenomenal thing in the world. Hold to Diablo guitarist via metal injection. Nice. And we thought, why don't we do a guitar no one's ever done? So we came out with a phlebotomist to a Slayer show backstage and put 18 vials of blood.
Okay.
I think that's a flavor thing. They don't think they actually pulled out 18 vials of blood.
This is my insurance.
He wanted 32, but the first of a 2-night stand, and my wife was there, and she said, "That's enough of my husband."
Oh, I don't get where these comments are
actual
like...
blood. Okay, this is interesting to say the least.
I'm so confused. Did we like? Are these not quotes, and that's just somebody talking? The guitar he plays that has painted with his own blood in 2016. Ah.
Interesting. Well,
so this guy is like metal.
Yep, super metal.
He's like the type to like bite bats' heads off in the middle of concerts.
All right, you getting pregnant, Ozzy Osbourne?
Maybe.
Okay. Well,
that's.
I genuinely hope this project comes along well because I think I really like to see it in like full proportion, actually hear it play too.
Next thing you know, they're just gonna be coming out with sword guitars, and they're gonna be coming out with like bow guitars.
Yeah, shield drums.
The medieval weaponry guitar shop.
The medieval collection. Dude, I think that would actually sell like super well.
Yeah, as long as they're careful with how they do it, and it's actually like a good product.
You know what? The apocalypse starts and you need a weapon. You can just dismantle that thing. You have a sword.
You get the acoustics of the guitar and the acoustics of the people that you're slaying with the guitar.
Yeah.
I think we are done.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What's the time at?
What's time?
Yep. We are at the
minutes. End. Okay. Well, this has been this week's episode of the Extra Casual podcast. We hope that you enjoyed. And we hope to see y'all in our next episode. Yeah, also please rate 5 stars or whatever.
Subscribe on YouTube, like every single YouTube video. Just go through the page, just click on one, like it, next one, like it, next one, like it.
Oh yeah, we also might be experimenting with a few things in the future.
Yeah, we're working on a couple things.
Yeah.
Trust us.
Yeah, and aside from that, yeah, that's that.
Yep.
So this has been Gavin.
And Ashton.
We'll see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.